Okay, in this video, let's talk about column width and row height and how to adjust them. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to adjust them, how to adjust multiple columns and rows at the same time, and so on. But the first question is, why would you adjust your column width? And the reason is apparent in this example here. If you look at our column B, we have a bunch of very small numbers and a very large column here. So if we wanted this to be more proportional to our data, then we could just click here, and we could just take this column and we can drag it in, and it fits the data a little bit more proportionally. The other thing is, if your data goes beyond your column, so for instance our column is here, and our data goes beyond the column, and you want to be able to see it, then we want to resize the column to better fit that data. So you can either grab it and drag it, or you can also auto fit it by just hovering over the line. You see I get the line with the two black arrows, and then I'm going to double click, and it's going to auto fit it and give you a little bit of extra space so it fits comfortably in there. If we auto fit this one, you'll notice it's going to make it tiny, and that may or may not be what you want. If you want it to be bigger, then you would just have to click it and drag it. Now, a couple of other things you can do with this is, for example, if you wanted both of these columns to be the exact same width, then you highlight both of them. Select them both by clicking and dragging, and then you click on whichever one you want, and you slide that to the size that you want it to be. So we're going to make this bigger, and then you release. And you'll notice that it takes both of those columns and makes them in the exact same width, which is pretty cool, if that's what you want to do. You can do that with the entire spreadsheet as well by clicking on this Select All button here, and then you grab your column and you drag it to where you want it and release, and you'll notice these got bigger. I'll do it again and make it really small so you can really see an extreme example. Now you notice all the columns have gotten smaller, but they're all the same size. By the way, this is a formula that I'm going to use later to show you how to deal with it when you see those little pound signs there, because I know a lot of people have that issue. So again, to refix this, I would drag this back out to get everything even, and then click back into one cell. And maybe I would custom fit that again. And the same thing goes with the rows. Resizing rows, you just click, if you want to do them all together, you click and drag, and those will all shrink. Notice how these are smaller in proportion. These are smaller in proportion to these, because I just shrunk them down. Now another way to resize your rows is to select the row, right-click on it, and then go to row height. And this will bring up a dialog box telling you how tall your row is now, and then you can just type in a number, whatever you want it to be. I'll make it a little more extreme so you can see. So we'll go with 20, hit enter, and then it'll make it bigger. Okay. And you can also change this when you're on the home page in your ribbon. You can go to Format here, and you'll see you have some options here. And it says cell size, but it's really referring to the row and column size. So you have your row height, and you can just click on that, and again it brings your same dialog box up. But you can also go auto fit row height, and if you select that, then it's going to auto fit that just the same as if you had dragged it out here and then you double clicked on there. So there isn't as much reason to use the format button over here because it is so far away. Most of the time you're just going to be right clicking and clicking, or double clicking, or clicking and dragging. Okay, so let me just size that back. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste a formula in right here. Let me resize this a little bit first, make it smaller. Okay, I'm just going to plop this formula in there. And this is just a random formula. It's the sum of these numbers times 1,000,000. The only reason I did that was so it would be nice and long so that it wouldn't fit in the cell. And you've probably seen this before, and this is a common problem. when you see all of these little pound signs in there, what it is it's Excel telling you that whatever data I have to display in this box, which when I hover over it, you can see the answer there is 15 million. But 15 million doesn't fit in this space, in this column width. And so it's just showing that to say, hey, I need more space. And so remember before, if I came up here and I double clicked on this, it shrunk down to accommodate these small numbers. But now we have a big number in there. So I'm going to double click this again to auto fit it. And notice it now expands and it tries to fit that number in there. Well, it doesn't try, it does fit that number in there. Okay, but again, if I were to shrink this down too small, it's going to give me those pound signs again saying, hey, my data doesn't fit in this cell, please make me bigger. So you just make it bigger so that it fits. Okay, so that's how you deal with that, and that's how you resize single columns, multiple columns, and how you do auto fit by double clicking on the edge of the column to make it snap to the size of your data. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next video where we'll continue talking about the most common interview questions that you will encounter in an Excel interview.